Isn't that a beautiful sound? Listen. Oh, yeah. The lovely, lovely M1 A6 Abrams. Isn't it beautiful? Just kidding. It's obviously a Panther. Hello again, friends and fans. Raptor here, and welcome back. Good to see you all here for more Manowar Assault Squad 2. No, it's our Coing Tiger, our Tiger 2 production turret with the, well, it's the Panzer VI, ready to roll forward into enemy lines. In our previous episode, we blew forward, including into an enemy fuel depot. Oops, my bad, but that's okay. We'll be able to advance further. We were trying to capture enemy fuel positions and, well, fuel dumps, ammo dumps, whatever, and deny the enemy, and push forward during our operation on the Watch on the Rhine. So if you guys want to see the first part, make sure you jump back, but more importantly, make sure you jump to it and click or tap that like button. Kappa and Susan Wojcicki and everyone else doesn't want kid-friendly, and they don't want ad-friendly. Who the hell knows what to make on YouTube anymore? So if you at least want to see more World War II, please do show your support, and thank you for being here. We're going to push forward now with some of our troops. We're going to get some additional reinforcements here to try to push through this fuel area. Now that it's been blown to hell, accidentally, we can still gather fuel from other places, including other vehicles, such as this destroyed Sherman here, or any other vehicles, so we're still fine, despite blowing up an enemy fuel position. So we're going to push forward with our troops and do our damnedest in order to dislodge them from their positions and capture more fuel. Again, you can download this in the description as always with most mods. It might take me a moment or two to update it, but you can always check the Steam page for Watch on the Rhine, and you should be able to find it. One of the more newer maps made by the community. And really, the community is an incredible source for all sorts of interesting and wonderful custom missions and mods. It's really fantastic. We're going to try to push a little forward, maybe up to this tree line now. See if we can start clearing out enemy troops. And there they go. Boys crawling out of the corner. There we are. Oh, yeah, nice. Very good. Our men are starting to push forward. They're making their way now to the tree line. And we have additional reinforcements on the way, too, who just arrived, so we'll push forward there. MG-42 doing a good job of trying to dislodge them from the fuel site. Unfortunately, they also occupy the other side of the river, which is going to be a real pain to get them out of there, as they're in some urban cover. Now, the Americans also on the right side have a pretty well dug-in position just behind this barn, and looks like 4 or 5 positions there of not only dug-in troops, but also vehicles, so we'll need to bring up our own tanks when the time comes. But first, we need to push forward in order to refuel our Tiger 2, so let's do that. The Coing Tiger, otherwise known as the King Tiger. I like the name the King Tiger the best. One of the best tanks that we have at our disposal right now. All right, our boys are pushing forward, some bleeding. Keep healing up and keep trying to push forward. At the end of our last episode, we had a comedic moment where somebody took a Panzer Schreck, fired into essentially the back end of an American Sherman, and it lit up the whole damn fuel depot, which I pretty much expected. I figured it was an 80% fail rate on that. But the Americans still have some vehicles here, so we need to get our Tiger here forward in order to cover our advancing troops. So let's try to bring our tank up to here. And we'll try to capture that fuel depot now, or whatever is left of it, and see what we can salvage. There could still be quite a bit of material there. And we need to move forward with speed. This thing is definitely quick once she's up to speed. Well, excellent. One American Sherman obliterated. The second one is M24 Chaffee. Loudon. Well, excellent. Another vehicle out of commission. Turret blowing open is a good sign that the enemy vehicle has been destroyed, or at least no longer functional. We got ourselves another vehicle. A LOL and an M8 Greyhound won't do nothing against our tank. Nice, 88 round put through that. Looks like we've got another Sherman near the river and some other light vehicles, but for the most part, the fuel depot is ours. Excellent. Both sides of the river are starting to get cleared as well. What the hell was that? Looked like our troops took some sort of a direct hit? That couldn't have been from artillery. Oh, it was. Damn. Americans must have some sort of mortar or something nearby. That was a pretty big caliber. Get into cover. Cover, cover, cover. Well, we're going to continue to take a lot of losses. The Americans are in good positions for defense, but now that we're out of the fields and into the town, I don't think it's going to get any easier. We have our Panther here, too, just peeking over the top of this. It can actually, if it turns its turret correctly, can peek right over the top of the fence and provide fire support for the advancing troops there. Oh, looks like the King Tiger's opened up a little bit of a door now. Looks like more vehicles are being damaged by the fire. But we can try to get somebody up. See if we can get this soldier here. There we go. That's what I want to see. We need to fuel this thing up. The American Sherman having probably a full fuel tank, really. Damn, our men are always bleeding. That artillery is so annoying because it lands close to your troops and they're not smart enough to heal themselves. So it's almost like a general or a captain telling a soldier that if he gets shot, he has to take out a Band-Aid. You'd think that would be a no-brainer, but... And our troops are going to continue to take this type of fire, but I can't displace. I can't leave here. We've got to clear that other side of the river and defend the tanks. Just bleeding everywhere. Ridiculous. Wow, even our man between the two tanks somehow got clipped. Where the hell's the man with the jerry can? Where'd that jerry can go? Damn, the American tanks somehow... Oh my god, there's just so much artillery, it's ridiculous. Well, in retrospect, I don't think we would have been able to take this position at all, so as soon as we rolled into town, a random artillery shell probably would have hit that one of those fuel trucks and it would have been all over. Alright, the Americans are tightly packed into this area here. So let's try to push up with the Tiger here. Actually, let's back up a little bit. I'm going to try to park it right here to look down the aisle and see if it can do some damage there. In the meantime, if the Americans have a mortar, I probably can't get to it. It's probably on the other side of the river, in all honesty. All right, let's take a look at our remaining objectives. We need to capture, apparently there's an airfield. Ah, that's where it is. The Americans have an airfield on the other side. We need to capture 3 farms. We also need to destroy American aircraft. Capture the bridge at the end of town. That's all the way here. Right sector, left sector, and the farm. So basically, clear map is essentially what our goal is, with the added objective of making sure that we also destroy aircraft. This added artillery fire is just annoying as hell. I'm trying to wait for the situation to calm down before we can move a little bit. But we will need to move our troops onto the left flank. Unfortunately, I can't get them any reinforcements. Alright, where the hell's that damn artillery fire coming from? There's got to be a mortar over here somewhere. I'm starting to see our troops perish to artillery mostly. It's not as bad as I thought it would be, actually. It's not too bad. Alright, let's move up here. I wonder if we can get our men across maybe here. I'm going to try to see if... I don't know if these men they have to swim or what. I don't want them swimming because they'll be caught out in the open. Yeah, okay. It's hard for me to tell whether or not the river's too deep or what the case is, but essentially what I need to do now is get this engineering truck over to the other side so we have infinite amount of fuel for our vehicles. Wow, the amount of troops bleeding is just ridiculous. I mean, it's ridiculous. Like, a round lands near them, they'll start bleeding, and if another round hits, they're out of bandages, and so they're all just dead anyway. So rounds don't even have to be accurate. It makes artillery even more deadly. Well, despite that, let's get our troops to advance. If they don't have ammo, that's fine. They can still throw grenades. I need to get them up here so we can get close to those positions. I need more troops. All right, forward. Okay, now we're going to have these troops advance on the right side. I'm going to try to circle around this area and get these guys cut off so I can just take them out slowly but surely. So we're going to have to try to go right. But the Americans are a little more spread thin, but they do have machine gun nests on the right side. So once we get to this building, it's going to be slow and go. Call up reinforcements again to come over here. Tank is still operational, still ready to fight, and still taking artillery rounds. Well, so long as they're paying attention to the tank, I'm fine with that. Fire your artillery at that all day long, I don't care. We're not going to be able to move along that river anymore. Another problem that's been cleared. Alright, reinforcements on the way. Looks like the Americans on this side are consolidated inside this fenced-in area here. Let's see if we can wipe these guys out. I want to be very cautious about my advance on the left because they have a steward there and I don't want to attract its attention. And if the steward tank comes over, that's the death of all of our infantry. Engaging targets, good. Oh, that didn't sound good. Americans might just be firing with the Sherman. Damn, if there's a mod to turn off bleeding, I gotta do that. It's just annoying. It's realistic, but I wish medics were also automatic too. That'd be another addition. More and more fire on this side. Well, we'll make do with what we got, I guess. Alright, M10 Wolverine here has been wiped out. And whatever the hell that was is gone. Another Sherman eliminated. Okay. So our other remaining threats here include a Stewart and a Chaffee and a Sherman. So 3 tanks remain on the right side. And luckily, we were able to get a lot of fuel for the Panther. 189 liters is good enough to roll this bunker forward. And I'm not seeing too much in terms of American heavy anti-tank. But they do have bazookas, so we need to clear the way with infantry. And that means artillery. Just go forward. Just go forward. There needs to be a programming in Men of War's AI to not avoid trees and things. It's a tank, after all. It might be a good idea to avoid a building, but a tree it can go right over. And then keep pushing forward despite all this artillery. That's the biggest annoyance, is that it weakens our troops and then they get finished off by machine guns. We need to be cautious. Oh, looks like we got something over here. Ah, an autocannon. 40 millimeter. How cute. Oh, another damn fuel depot. I'm not even going to try this time. We may as well just shoot at the damn thing. It's not even going to happen. We'll just have to salvage fuel from random light vehicles. What? I fired an HE round into a damn fuel truck and nothing happened. Try again. Wait a minute. Is the gun disabled? No, they're still there. Well, we've made a great amount of progress on the right flank. It's that left flank now that's deadly with the constant mortars and artillery. At least it's unloading on the tank, which you can't do much about. So we'll just spread our men out over here. And some of our boys here are dead too. Quite a few of them, actually. But that distracted the Americans. Wow, and they actually cleared out some of these trenches. Good. There was probably also some of this infantry over here, but... oh, damn. These guys didn't fare any better, but it was a pretty good defensive line to take out. Right, let's flank right now. The left side is more clear, so that allows us to go right. And not worry about the left side. What's over here? Gotta be an AT gun or something in the trees. can see something on the mini-map. What is it? Something over here, but I don't know what. Whoa. Panther, sweetie, don't turn like that. You want a death sentence? Jeez, everything's just bleeding, 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 bleeding. Okay, we're getting hit. Back it up a bit. Left side. I think it's that Chaffee. It's a Stewart. Annoying little turd with a 30 cal. American troop very close to the Panther, too. All right, boys. Time to bring hell. Beautiful. Well, at least a lot of our tanks are pretty accurate. And have the ability to zap enemy troops pretty quickly. Or enemy vehicles. Oh, actually, there's a supply truck here. We're in luck. I didn't even realize that. Beautiful. It looks like the fuel trucks don't necessarily have fuel on them, but they've, for whatever reason, got a lot of anti-tank mines and stuff. And, like, artillery rounds for whatever reason. Okay. All right, let's get the Panther up and running. Anything that we can bring back to the big Tiger, we can do that. King Tiger, but the Panther is going to be out on the prowl now. It's going to take a minute, but it's going to be worth it. I don't know how much fuel is in that American vehicle. We'll just do a little back and forth for a bit. All right, looks like a lot of these troops are ready to go. I think I need to bring my infantry to the right. We're running real low on friendly forces, and I can't really get much more in terms of reinforcements. The other problem is that the bleeding is just continuous, I guess. All right, well, I guess we're going to have to move these boys to the right side. So if everybody wants to go right. We'll get all of our men over here. 2 squads of reinforcements will be welcome. And mostly to deal with the damn bleeding all the time. All right, let's keep on rolling forward. We've got a few infantrymen in front of us, but the biggest problem is just dealing with our own infantry. They just keep bleeding all the time. These guys here are going to be on support, I guess, for refuel when we push the line forward a little bit more. Just a little bit more. Let's take these guys here, too. Okay, well, let's get our reinforcements in gear. If I can capture the far back of the map, this will be most of our problems out of the way, as the Americans will not have any sort of, I guess, forces in our way. We'll then focus on the town last, and then the airfield at the very, very last. Coming from the north. Let's see what other vehicles they've got. Another M10 Wolverine. Not too much to worry about. Panther might be in trouble if it engages that, but we should be okay. All right, back to fuel duty. This man has another 60-liter jerry tank. Jerry can. And this tank is at 205, now at 265. Well, it looks like whatever was happening over here had backed off, the artillery and such. Man, that was a nightmare. Looks like our infantry is crossing. Good. Good. 2 squads coming over. My plan to try to bring these guys across by opening up the river bridge was just not going to happen, I guess. But at least we kept them safe and didn't invest them up in the north. We needed them more on the right flank where the enemy's breaking. Beautiful. All right, good to see the Tiger, or rather the Panther, doing a little damage. Another destroyed tank. Wow, we even took out a damn tractor with half the engine block being over there. Is that what happened? Looks like a pretty big chunk of the tractor blew off over there. Maybe it's a wheel or something like that. Maybe it's the Batmobile. I have no idea. All right. Oh, it's a machine gun. A little American 30 cal hidden there. I was looking for an AT gun. I don't mind a machine gun, thank goodness. I'm actually relieved to see a machine gun versus a mortar or something. All right, let's send our boys back. Well, I've got to admit, this is probably one of the most challenging maps that I played, where it's not overly gimmicky. It's kind of more just like there's a lot of good layers of defense to get through, but it's not difficult or impossible, and that makes it really fun. It's along the same lines as when I remember playing the long-range battle mod. I'm getting the same feel with that, except this is a lot more condensed, and I guess that leaves a lot more to do in such a limited area without reinforcements coming at you all the time. Oh, looks like that. Is an American come out of cover yet? I think there might be a man inside. No, that guy's dead. Is there a man inside here? There's got to be an American troop there. Oh, yep. All right, the one guy I was looking for, one AT man. Our Panther was near death. That man could come out and pop us at any moment if he was smart, but the AI is probably just going to stay put. Let's keep on siphoning fuel from the American fuel truck. See, it's got 20 out of 60. So what's weird in this game, I don't know how to take from the actual fuel tank. He's taking from the actual vehicle itself that's loaded with fuel, but not from the actual tank of the vehicle. All right, well, we've got 4 more squads of reinforcement on the minimap. I can see them back there. That's great. We're going to have to consolidate our attacks into one area because the amount of artillery and bleeding that we're dealing with is tough. Luckily, there's only this lake here, and then we can spread out just past that, so we won't be consolidated into a small spot. So there's probably mortars in front of us, but it won't be enough to stop us now, so let's keep pushing forward. Get all of our men ready to attack. We'll bring up one more squad back here to stand by. And the King Tiger has been taking a pounding, but it's just light mortars. And thankfully, the infantry is okay. Our infantry's been doing just fine. All right, there we go. Okay, well, we'll keep our troops here. These guys will just stay to guard the engineering truck and bring it across if we somehow manage to bring it. For the King Tiger. It seems like the Panther crew is good enough at scrounging up their own materials and pushing forward. And did we get this guy's last amount of fuel? We did not. Looks like he actually pulled some out before he gave it to it. Okay, let's go ahead and get ready to push forward. We'll try to advance on all fronts here. Get our troops into layers of 3. And then we'll have another squad stick with the Panther and defend it. We still have that one man with the bazooka there, so let's get him with the G43. Trying to flank around this guy. Has he been killed? Oh, maybe he's dead. Nope, he's there. We're going to be quick about this. I want to try to crawl up here and see if we can get this guy. He's down. Well, looks like the Panther got hit, knocking one of the crew member out of the turret, but we're fine. No damage. Alright, let's bring up the 2 squads. We'll have to bring up a 3rd one in the middle when it kind of opens up a little bit from behind us when we push forward. Alright, I need a 3rd squad. There it is. Alright, we'll have these guys come up the middle. Just the right amount of reinforcements we needed. Lots of squads here. Okay. Panther will have to cover these guys. Biggest threats in front of us then are the Stuart, the Chaffee, and that Sherman. And then we've got an M8 Greyhound near the river, and I thought we had another Sherman somewhere over on the left side somewhere hiding. Ah, there it is. Yeah. Okay. Well, we're going to push our troops up. All right, let's have our tank move to the right a little bit more. There we go. Alright, so now we're going to close in on the American-held position on the other side of the lake. Finish off those vehicles. And we're going to have to surround both sides of the town here. Actually, this side of town is not as well defended as I thought it would be. The airfield certainly is looking pretty beefy. With auto cannons there, but nothing the Panthers can't deal with. So let's crush the resistance over here as soon as possible. Rebel scum. Let's get that Stewart out of the way. That thing is pretty damn accurate when it comes to dealing with infantry. Oh, American snipers, too. I hope that hit it. That sure did. Excellent work. All right, a good amount of squads left here. We will probably bring these guys in from up here. The problem is the AI can't jump over these fences. They're barbed wire, and we can't clear them out without a vehicle. So I'll have to see if I can attack from maybe back here. Alright, not too bad. Only a few men lost. Not bad. And we're still pushing forward. Enemy vehicle down. That Stewart is out of the way. M4 Sherman remaining. Let's go ahead and load a anti-tank round, and then let's see if we can also take out that Sherman from here. And maybe this Chaffee, possibly, if we can get close enough. We'll have to put a round through the brick wall of the building. Well, that woke the crew up. Hello. Shoot one more time. Well, now the third time should be a charm. The wall is out of the way. And let's get him. Wow, man falling out of the tower as well. That must have been where a sniper was. Good hit on that tank. Tank now sees the Panther. And wonderful. Huge hit into the ammunition. Setting her up. Good. Alright, let's see if we can hit this Stewart tank now, rather the Chaffee. Chaffee is kind of like a cross between a Sherman and a Stewart, really. It's small and fast like the Stewart, but it has a lot of hitting power like the Sherman does. And in fact, its speed makes it a little bit more deadly than both of those tanks. Probably one of my favorite tanks to see in action. I've been able to kill many a big tank with the Stewart in this game, just because it's so hard to actually hit when it's moving quickly. Almost harder than the Stewart, even though it's bigger. Imagine that. All right, how are we doing with fuel for the Panther? Oh, we're at 296. Good. All right. We're almost done worrying about fuel. We've actually got a vehicle over here we could grab a little bit more fuel from. Every vehicle now is an opportunity. Even this small little Horch could have fuel on it. And indeed it does. Not only does it have fuel inside the vehicle, but you know, the extra jerry can, but also the vehicle itself we can harvest from. All right, boys, keep pushing up. Unfortunately, we're really in a small pinch here for our troops moving through. I wish the AI would spread our men out a little bit better, but we're kind of crawling in single file. All right, the American reinforcements all the way in the corner of the map can be dealt with. Uh-oh. Never mind, there's a 30 cal here. We should be able to come into the flank of that. Our men here are engaging that. Now, if the Stewart was, or rather the Panther was smart, it would be able to fire over there. Oh, and I hear a big hit. Oh, and I see a yellow, rather a white triangle, meaning that gun has been eliminated. Very good. All right, lots of squads here ready to go. I'm going to try to get these guys to go down this way now. Some of them wounded. Damn. Well, we're trying to take the best care of our men as we can, but again, I guess sometimes the Army comes down to the individual. If you have troops who are smart enough to take opportunities as they see them, that makes you a lot more effective. If, you know, enemy soldier runs across real quick of a street, it's on the soldier to quickly pick up his rifle and fire, denying the enemy knowing where your position is, and many other things. But maybe not if you fire. Jeez, alright, I think in this game we've lost one soldier to an actual gunshot wound and the rest due to bleeding. Which is contributed from the gunshot wound, but oh, look at this. A neat little effect from the developer of the map. A little greenage pipe there. Very cool. Okay, our troops are coming up now in this facility. That Chaffee's got to go. How many rounds do we have remaining? It is 18 rounds. We're getting a little light here on ammo. I'm going to try to put it through the building, though. Now, we can bring up some ammunition from the rear. We can have some of our troops go and grab some of that. Looks like the Chaffee may have been tracked, possibly. Sounded like it, but it doesn't look like it. Well, it doesn't matter. It's destroyed, so whatever happened, it's dead. Alright, enemy troops just on the other side of this wall. The wall's a little too tall for our soldiers to fire. Sir? Oh, that AI is so stupid. Did you see that? He tried to pick it up several times, but it ended up being his downfall. Alright, we've captured the enemy machine gun position here. We now have 5 points to capture. Let's go ahead and continue to reinforce. We do have a huge area here now for reinforcement, but this is going to be to take the rest of the map. So we need to encircle the Americans now. And to do that, we need the Chaffee out of the way, which is fine. It's cleared now. But there is another... Oh, there's a mortar there. That's damn frightening. M8 Stewart, Greyhound rather, and then also the Sherman there. Alright. I certainly should bring the Panther all the way around, so let's do it. Let's back it up. Let's get this vehicle to come down the road quickly. More bleeding as we're dealing with mortars now. Let's get our reinforcements in gear. I'm confident at this point, if we find an enemy vehicle, we'll be able to pull up next to it with the Panther tank and get nearly refueled. I think at this point all we need to do is keep somewhere near 300 fuel and we'll be alright. Right now we're at 322. If we take the town, we'll be down to 250 and we can refuel. Well, let's stop here quickly and take advantage of this Stewart. Another 60 on board. Really needing now to bring the King Tiger a little bit of love. But it'll take some time. Oh. Are Americans firing out of that building? What the hell? I keep hearing gunshots. Huh, I thought there were enemy troops in here. Maybe not. Alright, well, a complete German breakthrough now. All that heavy armor has certainly benefited the Germans in clearing out some of these light tanks that were a real nuisance. Should be able to get up over 400 fuel now. Good. With our max, I think, being 500. Maybe it's 600. Alright, we have some squads here. These guys were hit hard near the depot, so let's pull back around the tank. Americans, look at how many artillery shells they've tried to use to destroy that tank. It's great that they've got their attention there. When we assault elsewhere, they'll probably still be firing at that tank and not even paying attention to the front line, which has now moved behind them. Alright, let's bring up our troops here. Man killed anyway by rifle fire. Alright, troops are too dumb to heal and too dumb to return fire. A lot of deaths there, probably to that line here that we got behind. Yep. Looks like there's a bunch of Americans inside here, too. We're going to keep that door open for reinforcements. All right, let's try to do a little bit more refueling. We'll get this tank over 500 and call it good. In fact, I think this is going to be close enough. Yeah, 496 is close enough to 5 for me. No. Switch back and hop inside. All right. So this should give us enough maneuverability to get to the bridge and then start clearing out the town. And then we'll try to get the King Tiger, maybe, to go provide fire on both sides of the river, clear out these 2 vehicles here, and then maybe cross here, but I think it's going to be the Panther because of its fuel. It just has more. All right, let's go. Try to get my troops here to clear out the rest of that facility and cover our left flank. Good. All this reinforcements coming up nicely. Okay, the Americans have another damn mortar. Actually, it sounds like a priest or something like that, an M7, but I don't actually see that anywhere. All right. Well, we're certainly behind the Americans now. We're not really completing many of our objectives, but I think they're about to be all completed at once as we're getting in the position now to tighten the noose. Really not too much of American force left here. I think any position with a fuel depot is one we have to capture. This looks like obviously this is a farmhouse here. Let me try to get some grenades in there and see if we can dislodge some of these troops. Try to complete another objective here at least. Although as we're gaining territory, ground, we know that we're getting rid of the enemy quickly. I'm going to try to take this building here. I'm hoping if we complete another objective, that'll lend me more points for troops. And I'm going to need that to see if I can get back over to the other side and tighten the noose around the airfield. Now, let's see. Where's another vehicle? Well, looks like there's no other vehicles here. Except for some random trucks, so we should be fine. Roll forward. All right, grenade out. Good job. Okay, well, we've pretty much cleared out most of the map aside from both sides of the river and the airfield. So when we're ready here, we'll punch to the bridge, split the enemy in two in terms of cutting them off from both sides of the river. They'll only be really around the rivers. We'll clean out both of those sides and then end up at the airfield, which should be the easiest of targets because, well, it's wide open and we've got tanks, and it's not going to be too troublesome, I think, for the tanks to keep their distance and exchange fire with enemy troops. Still getting shot here. Let's see where the enemy is at. Well, we're looking low on ammunition, though, for the Panthers, so luckily it doesn't have much armored targets to take care of remaining. All right, everyone, that is going to be it for our episode here today. Please help me in battling Kappa and Susan Majitsky by clicking and tapping that like button to see more World War II content here. It is dying. It's killing me, you guys. So thank you, everybody, for the support. I want to keep playing these games. They're good. They're strategic. It's like its own level of chess. So I appreciate you leaving a like on the way out. Remember to use your blinker, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye, everyone.